Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. We're on location today. We're at 2 Bella, and we're going to learn about new solutions for hair loss. So let's start from the beginning. How did you get started with all this?
So I've been doing hair for 25 years, and about 15 years ago, I was working with a family member that struggled hair loss. She'd come in and we would perm her hair really, really tight, and then we would curl it and tease it and try and hide it, and she was never happy. And one of my clients just got a hairpiece, and she said, "You should go to this place." So I went with her, and I'll be honest, on the way there I thought, how could this look real? You know, I've never seen good hair replacement, and I was just in awe, because I've come to discover that good hair replacement we don't notice. We notice all the bad. So there's kind of a thing about that. So I watched her do it, and I walked out and said, this is what I want to do. And a few months later, I went to Florida, did a 3-day seminar, and started learning from there.
When did this shop come? When did you move here and bring this salon, this whole field?
So I finally got to a larger salon here in Lisle about 3 years ago, and it was nice. And I had a storefront. The other place I was in the back of a building.
And who is the clients that are coming into your shop?
Everybody. I get young girls. I get women that, it's called trichotillomania. They pull their hair out. You know, this works really good for them because we're able to bond over their hair, and their hair can grow underneath it, and it kind of helps with the problem. I see women that are going through chemotherapy, hormonal, sometimes stress. So it just about works for everybody.
And do you see men too?
I see men too, yes.
So tell me a little bit about how this works. When you say you can tell a good hair replacement product from a bad, what sets this apart?
So I joined the Cesare Ragazzi company a year ago, or 2 years ago, and the company and the product is so different. This company, I could not believe that when I joined on, they were going to send a technician from Italy once a month to my salon and make sure that we were doing everything correct.
So tell me a little bit about how this hairpiece works.
This is really, really exciting. So the first thing that someone does when they come in is we draw out a parameter of the area of hair that we want to cover. And then from there, we create a bi-cast. And as you can see, this is quite an extraordinary bi-cast. She used to have her hair loss on the edges, and she has her hair in the center. So we made one a little bit different. And then over here, we have just a little tiny one that's going to cover just like a part line. Because a lot of women just start losing their hair in their part area. So starting off with something little makes it more realistic. And once we have our bi-cast, then we create a plaster Paris mold. And this captures all the contours of a client's scalp. And from there, we send them off to Bologna, Italy, and they use a 3D CAD/CAM technology to recreate a client's natural scalp, or the natural contours of a client's scalp.
So once the scalp mold is made in Italy, how do they add the hair? How do they choose the hair? Tell me a little about that. That's
so then they use a biomedical grade material that's FDA approved. It is antibacterial, antifungal. It adapts to a wearer's body temperature. And all of that, it actually looks so beautiful and so real. I'm going to hand it to you so you can see the scalp.
It's amazing, the hairline, because that's where I think everybody picks up if it's not their own. But
I actually have a young woman that had one on, and I asked her, "Have you told your friends yet?" Because she was really afraid to tell her friends.
Yeah, no.
And she said, "Oh my gosh, it's crazy you asked me that, because just the other day I told all my friends finally, and one girl said, I had no idea I braided your hair last week." And right there, this is what it's all about.
Tell me a little bit about the hair. It's so natural. How does that work? How do you match my hair to that?
Every client that comes in, when I bring in samples, will say, is this human hair? What I want to say to them is, would you like human hair that matches your texture and is easy to work with, or do you want difficult human hair that probably doesn't match your texture? So I come up with a way to explain it to a customer, because it's really hard to understand what other companies are maybe doing to the hair. Because in order to understand really good quality hair, I think you need to understand what maybe difficult hair is. So this is what I came up with. We're going to pretend that this is a hair strand.
Okay.
And this is all the little cuticles going down.
Okay.
If I put all the hair strands in the same direction, this means this is Remy hair. They're all going the same direction. If I flip it around like this is now non-Remy, which means these little cuticles would catch on each other. So in order to prevent this problem, a lot of the manufacturers will do a chemical process that removes all this cuticle. The problem is, under a microscope, because I had a bad piece come in, I went, I want to know why this is happening. So I bought a microscope and I looked and I could see that there's only maybe 1 or 2 cuticles left on some of these hairs. Just enough to make the hairs catch on one another. The second thing they do is they remove all of the hair color dye from it, and they put our clothing, like a textile dye, in it. And thirdly, they will add a perm. So you can only imagine by the time they do all this to the hair, how the hair feels. Cesare Ragazzi uses 100% virgin hair, meticulously inserted from root to end, and it matches your hair texture. And we will send in a sample of your hair, so they'll match the color, they'll match the curl pattern, the denier, which is the diameter of the hair strand. So that is the best part about it, is that it's natural. People could swim with it. You could do everything with this piece because it acts just like our natural hair.
Well, thanks for taking time to explain a little bit about what you do here. This is important, and I thank you for being in the community.
And thank you for coming out and let me share what we have to offer.
So tell me a little bit about your story. How did you find Two Bellas?
I started going to a therapist a couple of years ago, about 2015, and she actually recommended them to me.
How important is our hair and our appearance and our self-esteem and everything that we do?
I think for women especially, it's more of like your identity, especially with me in college. It was a big issue, self-esteem. I wouldn't look people in the eye really. And now I feel great. Like I feel like back to who I was before, because we kind of modeled it to how my hair was before. My mom actually cried because I looked so like I used to in old pictures and things like that. So,
and how did they work with you here? Tell me about the experience.
Well, when I first came here, the CNC wasn't a thing yet. So 2015, so I had just gotten a topper. So it was just like a little fake, like little netting with little clips, and I would clip it on, and I would also tape it on. I didn't like it because I could only wear it when I would wear my hair down, and I work out 6 days a week. I like my hair to be up, things like that. So, and I remember just telling them I just want to be able to put my hair in a ponytail. That's the only thing, and I couldn't do that with that. And then I remember I came in to pick up my topper from them after they had dyed it and treated it, and one of the girls told me about the Cesare Ragazzi, and I was like, oh. She showed me pictures of one of the clients, and she showed me her hairline, which was like the biggest thing for me, because like I said, I just wanted to wear my hair in a ponytail, wanted to wear my hair like half up, half down, like all the other girls do. So then I thought about it, talked to my parents about it, and I was going to go on vacation. It was in the spring, but going into the summer, and I was like, okay, I really just want to swim, and you can swim with this, you can work out in this. So I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna do it. So started the whole process and got it, went on vacation, was able to swim, was able to get my hair done for a wedding that I was in. I haven't gotten my hair done in years. So it's just really cool just being able to be like a normal girl and do things that normal people do.
It seems like this is a very intimate thing, it's very personal, and being here, I feel like they take real good care of everyone, and they really connect with you. Tell me a little bit about the relationship.
Well, Melissa, or Missy, she is great. Like I can just text her about anything, or if I'm having an issue with it, she's like, oh, just come on in. So it's very relatable. She's actually going to start wearing a piece just so she can see how we have to deal with it and how it is and how it feels, because it feels weird at first. Yeah, she just really does her research for it. So she really wants to know what we go through and how we're feeling. Like she may not experience hair loss, but she puts herself in a position that she understands.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How's having this new hair, how has it changed your life?
I mean, like I said, my confidence is just completely back. I can look people in the eye now. Like I started dating more, just things like that. Like I just feel normal. I mean, you don't think that hair makes you feel normal, but it really does. And it completely just can transform your whole life.
Thanks for taking time to tell us a little bit about your story.
No, yeah, thank you.